Uh, as you know it today, it's a busy day. It's a hectic day. It's going to be wild. The markets are just wild, right? U.S. elections have started today. Of course, we're expecting the results surely. Like, okay, the last elections, the results didn't come in the same day. I don't know about today. Likely tomorrow, by Friday, probably, we'll know who the new president is. I'm gunning for Trump. I really hope Trump wins. Shame, and I really hope it does. But you know how things are, things can be either way. So, nonetheless, we've got a forecast, and today we'll be looking at it in every manner. We'll also be trading it actually. We'll also be trading it. I'm planning for us to have a live trading session today, and then yeah, we just kick it like that. So, without any further ado, Mr. Dumisho is going to take us through the work of the day, of course, and yeah, he's going to go deep with it. So, with that being that, Mr. T, I believe we can go for it.
Thank you so much.
Power, power.
Here we go. Okay, I'm assuming everyone can see my screen. We may proceed. So, welcome to another edition of our slide decks that we present every week, once a week. At least you guys will get it twice a week this time because we did not produce last week. So, the agenda on today's topic will be discussing Trump's 2024 agenda, Harris 2024 agenda as well, the election betting odds, which is ironically something very stupid if you think about it, because why are people betting on elections? It really tells you how distorted the economy has become. Dollar performance per administration as well. We're trying to see which administration is good for the dollar, which administration is bad for the dollar, as we attempt at forecasting what the dollar might do. Regardless of the result, we need to know what the dollar will do on both sides. We're not just anticipating a specific result, but what happens when that result rears itself, right? And then we'll be looking at the annual S&P 500 performance, Biden-Trump impact on the dollar. So moving on, as we can see here, this is Trump's campaign. He has declared war on cartels. He's also saying that the American Academy is going to revolutionize education. You know, the typical political jargon that we hear of. So this is very interesting for the stock market because that might be a bear on the stock market because these large endowments from private universities have the majority of that budget is invested in stocks and in particular the S&P 500. Now, if he shifts endowments to public education, then that means that it's bad for the stock market because the big guys aren't making money anymore. So we also look at welfare for illegal aliens, quote unquote. He's basically referring to people, the illegal immigrants, right, in America. So that is his anti-immigration. So that might be interesting if you're invested in stocks that are protected against such political acts. They'll also be ending veteran homelessness in America, which is again just political jargon. Now moving on, this is Kamala Harris' campaign. She's saying that she's going to cut taxes, right? Make rent more affordable, grow small businesses, and invest in entrepreneurs. This might be interesting for penny stocks because small businesses are penny stocks. Penny stocks are companies that are trading at a stock price of less than, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's $10. So those are penny stocks. Strengthen and bring down the cost of healthcare. That is also, I think they want free healthcare. That's the Democratic agenda, which, believe it or not, that might be good or bad for the economy. You need to increase taxes, etc. So it's kind of contradictory because she's saying she's going to bring down the cost of healthcare at simultaneously cut taxes. So how is that going to work? Where are you going to fund the healthcare? You need to fund it through debt issuance, right? Which means more quantitative easing, which means more financial distortions, etc. But that would be overall net, it would be a net benefit for the stock market if that happened, because we've seen that happen in 2020. We've seen that happen 2021 with the repo market when the Fed bailed out the repo market. We saw it with reverse repo. We saw it with the bank failures. The Fed came in, they stepped in, and the stock market reacted positively to that. So everything else is just political jargon. But what is interesting here is that inflation is impacted there's an interesting correlation when you see inflation's impact by administration. As you can see with Trump's administration, there is far less, there's actually disinflation to deflation. We could actually see negative numbers here, negative 15 for hotels, negative 23 for airlines. So Trump's on net balance has a disinflation to deflationary effect on the economy, which is beneficial for consumers, right? Whereas with the Harris campaign, the Biden campaign, unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to accurately tame inflation, which is a shame if you think about it. So what does this mean? This means that voters are looking at this and saying, you know what? Maybe we should vote for Trump because inflation is the number one problem that people have. And if you vote for someone who's not going to give you that much inflation, then that might be beneficial to your choice of party, right? So, which is why Trump's betting average is far higher than Harris' betting average. Although this morning Harris has managed to close the gap, so it's very tight right now. But we'll see what happens. And by the way, we need to find out how this impacts the stock market, how this impacts the dollar, because if you're going to trade the dollar, you need to know how each result is going to impact the dollar and dollar currency pairs as well as gold. Gold is a very interesting one. Before I even continue with the dollar, gold is interesting because gold can be impacted in several ways, right? One way is the fact that Kamala Harris is pro climate change. I mean, pro climate change, sustainability, those things that says you can't mine gold. Whereas Trump is saying that, you know what, you can still mine gold, you can still mine minerals. So that means that if Kamala wins, that's going to be a bearish signal for gold. Like, because gold in and of itself is a metal that has to be mined. So there are climate risks associated with mining gold. So that is a net negative for Kamala Harris, right? Now, when you see the dollar's performance, what you can see is that W. Bush during a Republican presidency, bad dollar performance. Clinton, Democrat, good dollar performance. Bush, bad performance. Obama, good dollar performance. Trump, slightly negative performance, whereas Biden, a massive performance, actually. Biden really outdid himself there, but not really when you consider the fact that the dollar is a good dollar is actually bad for the economy. It's bad for the global economy because the dollar is the world reserve currency. So because the dollar is the world reserve currency, when the dollar goes up, it means there's scarcity for the US dollar, which in turn means that every country needs dollars because there is cash there's a shortage of cash because the dollar is the global reserve currency. Now, South African companies don't have enough money to buy gold. They don't have enough money to buy oil. They don't have enough money to buy other resources that they're doing, the trade that they're doing with other countries, which then means that everyone goes into a financial collapse. That is what happens when the dollar is going up. There is financial recessions. If you can notice here, what's happening is when the dollar is up, things are bad for the economy. 2009, Obama came in, the dollar was good because there was a great financial crisis. So that is just an interesting segue into the dollar's impact on the presidential election, right? Or vice versa, rather. US debt crisis is leading to potential bankruptcy. So, what you see here is that the national debt has increased substantially in the month of October, which is telling us that Kamala Harris wants to implement. The Democrats are big spenders. So, the Democrats means that national debt is going to go up, which is a net negative for the dollar. So, that is very interesting because if Kamala Harris comes into power and it is guaranteed that she's going to increase the national debt, she's going to cut taxes while at the same time increase national debt, that might be positive, that might be negative for the US dollar. So Now, what you see here is the average annual S&P 500 performance. And when we are talking about full Democratic presidency, we see that 9% gains on S&P 500. But with the Republican presidency, we get 12.9% gains, as well as a Republican Congress when it's just full on Republican. So if Trump wins, then the S&P, it's good for the stock market. If Kamala wins, it's bad for the stock market. This is what the chart is implying. And now what this is telling us is the initial impacts, the initial market reactions, right? When Trump won in 2016, the dollar went up immediately. The dollar went up immediately, whereas over the long term, it's supposed to go down because of what we suggested earlier on. But the immediate impact of the dollar is to the bullish when Trump won the last time. But that is assuming we'd have to assume that that is the case this time. And we don't know. We really do not know. Biden had a weak dollar, but what if Kamala has a strong dollar? So that's something to keep in mind. And this leads to the end of our session, guys. We'll be taking questions for a few minutes, guys. A few minutes because I'm running out of time. But let us take questions. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat box and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Who do you think will win? Okay, so when you ask a question like that, I can only give a political answer, a philosophical answer. Who will win? That depends on incentives, right? I think the incentives are highly in Kamala Harris' favor because she's going to be a woman, right? Just because she's a woman, that already elevates her chances dramatically because a lot of changes happening in society. AI, you know, globalization is decreasing. There's a lot of war going on. So whenever there's massive changes, whenever there's massive structural changes in the reality of the economy, everything else changes. And something big like an election means that the chances of change is very much likely. Trump was in power, but well, they want to see him again in power because it's not like people, when Trump was in power, people are like, oh, Trump had the best economy. Not everyone thinks that way because everyone still complains about the economy with or without Trump. So why would someone want to complain again? But people would rather see something new. They would rather see something new. And I think Kamala Harris has the best chance just because it's something new. Okay, so what's US30 like? Will it be selling? So that depends. Now, the stock market, again, it is good for Trump. So if Trump wins, then you should see US30 go up because the markets really love Trump. I remember in 2020 when I was trading, every single time Trump tweeted, NASDAQ would just shoot through the roof. US30 would shoot through the roof. So the market just generally loves Trump. It's no secret that because Trump wants to cut taxes anyway. So why does the market hate Trump? They love him. So Trump all the way. I see a lot of Trump supporters here. Hey, I see a lot of Trump supporters. Is there really good chance of World War III happening if Kamala wins? If I answer that question, you guys will say I'm being too political and I'm taking sides. But maybe because I think we get World War III regardless. Whatever happens with this result is going to lead to some World War III, or it's going to lead to some dramatic change because if Trump wins, a lot of people are going to be pissed off. A lot of people. If Kamala wins, not a lot of people are going to be pissed off because it's like first woman, first woman. But with Trump, that is a serious question. So I think if Donald Trump wins World War III, guys, if Harris wins World War III, either ways. Um, okay, will there be a massive spike? Massive, extremely massive. I do not know if it will be more massive than NFP and inflation data when we get inflation data, but it will be of the same breath. Now, respectfully, Kamala isn't new. She has been there last 4 years. She hasn't been president. Trump has been president. She's just been a politician her whole life. The US has never had a woman's president in history. So many other countries have had women presidents. Women are starting to get into high positions of power. That is a trend. We won't even debate about that. It is a trend. Every single company wants to hire a woman as a CEO. So the next step is for a president to be led by a female so that you could really control the masses like that because you're giving them something they really want, a female president, something that has never happened before. So what's your view on GBPSD? That depends on who wins. If Kamala wins, if Kamala wins, then you know you might see the USD on the upside, right? You might see the USD on the upside. So if Trump wins, the USD will initially react negatively to a Trump victory, which would mean that GBP, if you get a negative USD because of Trump, then GBP USD would be going up. However, again, it depends on the results. The results will vary. And also what makes if we want to put more dimension into our understanding, we also have to remember there's Congress as well. It's not just the president, it's Congress. Who gets to control Congress? Because sometimes it's split control. So if you get full on democratic control, then you're going to see some real moves. Whereas you will see up and down movements if you get a mixed election results. If you get a president who, if you get Donald Trump as president, but Congress is controlled by the Democrats, then that would cause a whipsaw in the market. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. I am finished, and guys, we will see you on the next slide deck that we present on Thursday. We have a good slide deck on Thursday, so please tune into that slide deck on Thursday, but not around these times. We usually do them nighttime, so 8 o'clock around those times. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no, epic stuff, bro. Epic, epic, epic stuff, guys. Yeah, it's really gonna be busy. Actually, it has started being busy. With that being that, I'll invite you guys to another session today. But that one will be the private session. So what we're doing is that we'll be trading it live, and we're just gonna have fun with the market, really scalping like no one's business. We're not gonna play with it. And with that being that, it's gonna be epic. So hit up that WhatsApp number that I put on the Telegram chat, or just go to our website, right? Go to the website, sign up, and then yeah, we're going to be rocking. We'll be trading live for the next few hours, and we're going to have fun with it. So the elections last time, what happened really? They were announced after a few days, after like 3 4 days. So, but that was COVID times anyway. So we don't know today. By tomorrow, we might be having what you call. We might be having the results. So. If anything, we're going to see what's what, and we're going to capitalize on it. That's the purpose of everything. So, guys, thank you very much. Let's meet again with the VIP members and trade it live and yeah, kill this thing. So, guys, thank you very much. I'll let you know about everything. We might even give a bonus signal there on the group, and we're going to have fun with it. Guys, thank you very much.